Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of The Ritual. Now if you want to keep up to date with all my latest movie news and reviews then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always with my videos this review may include spoilers so you have now been warned. So I really enjoyed The Ritual. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be going into it. It was a completely different movie altogether, but I still enjoyed this one nonetheless. It's a very different type of horror movie. It wasn't sort of the bog standard jump scare scary movie like I was expecting it to be. It has a lot of depth and a lot of layers to it, and within a sense it almost becomes a psychological horror to, well, especially with the way it focuses around the main character Luke, who is haunted by this trauma of seeing his best friend killed in front of him, that follows him all the way throughout this movie. And within a sense, this movie kind of becomes a coming-of-age movie because, you know, Luke has to deal with his demons and his fear, and in the end, he emerges as the strongest character out of the lot of the group. And it was really interesting to see you know, that it wasn't just a normal scary movie. It did have kind of a bit of depth to it, and it had a few hidden meanings in there along the way, and I really enjoyed that whole aspect of this movie. Another thing that was actually nice to see in this film is that it's very logical. Like, the decisions they made, I felt like I would be making, and I know this is a really weird thing to bring up, but I hate it when you're watching a horror movie and somebody will just do something that's just so idiotic. You're like, why are you doing this? Like, you are clearly going to go and die. Whereas in this one, you know, the characters are a little bit older. They're in their 30s, probably late 30s, early 40s, and they kind of have a more level-headed approach to everything. So, you know, they plan out what they're doing, and you're like, I kind of resonated with that. I was like, yeah, that's what I do. You know, you wouldn't just go running off into the woods randomly. There are a few moments of that, but for the most part, they have a logical plan. They're following a compass. They're aiming for the ridges, and it just kind of added another layer to this film, that it was a logical horror movie, because when things did start to go bad, it was a little bit more of a shock because you weren't expecting it, because these guys kind of seemed that they knew what they were doing, and it was just quite nice to see. Another great thing about this movie is it's a really good blend of horror and comedy. There's a lot of humour in this film, and again, that definitely works to add to more the logical side of it. There's a great scene in it, which is in the trailer, where they find this old abandoned cabin, and the guy's like, oh, this is clearly the house we're going to get murdered in. There's some really nice bits of humour all the way through it, and that kind of, again, it's like that thing of, you know, it adds to the overall horror of it, because, as I say, these are pretty normal guys, and it's a situation you could find yourself in. And the fact that they were reacting, as I said, like any kind of normal person would, or certainly I would in that situation, it makes it a lot more scary. And again, it goes back to that point of psychologically how good this film was at manipulating you in that way. And yeah, really, really enjoyed The Ritual. Now, as always, there are a couple of things that I didn't totally enjoy about this film. One of these things isn't really a negative, it's just kind of, I would have liked to seen this fleshed out a little bit more, and that was when they kind of were captured by the villagers. I just really would have liked to have seen them spend a little more time with the villagers and kind of get more of a backstory and just spend more time in the village as captives. I know they explain kind of what the monster is. It's this demonic Norse god. It's the demon offspring of Loki. We don't speak its name, so you know, you get the backstory to it. I just felt like there was a little bit more scope there, and you could have added maybe 10-15 minutes to the movie of them just being a little bit more isolated and captive within the village, and expanded on that world of the village a little bit more. And again, this is not a negative, because I really, really loved the design of the monster, and it did that really great thing of only showing little bits of the monster up until the big reveal towards the end of the film. But there were a few points where the CGI wasn't great, but for the most part it was really good, and I can't stress enough how really cool and intimidating this monster looked, especially when it's put its head down and you could see like the the antlers for arms, that, you know, it was the effigy that these people had been worshipping. That was a really cool reveal. So it's not really a positive, not really negative, sorry. It's a positive and a negative that I wish they maybe could have kept this down to more of prosthetics rather than CGI, but again, it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment of the film. I'm just indulging a little bit there, but I really enjoyed The Ritual. I suggest you guys go and see it. If you have seen it, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. I really enjoyed it. If you like films, the way I can sum up this movie in a really quick way is that this movie is a really great mix of kind of old school horror mixed in with new school horror. It felt very much like a perfect blend of The Wicker Man, The Blair Witch Project, and also It Comes at Night, if you've seen that. I like this movie because it felt like It Comes at Night, but we actually got a payoff. Ooh, a little bit of sass there for you. But I really enjoyed this movie. It's a great blend of horror genres, really psychological, really makes you think about it after you've come out of the cinema. And I was thinking about this film a couple of hours after, at least, thinking about what was going on and all of the stuff that happened in the forest. Really enjoyed this one. It's The Ritual. Check it out. I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then make sure you hit that like button. And why not give me a subscribe as well, because you'd be helping me out massively. And I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra.